welcome to another episode of the Highlight Reel. My name is Nick Lynch.
And I'm Ben Heltzer.
And with the NFL schedule release that happened this week, we're going to be talking about the season opener between two bitter division rivals, as well as the divisional rematches, conference championship rematches, and the Super Bowl rematches that are all on the schedule for the season. So to start the season, the Philadelphia Eagles, the reigning Super Bowl champions, hosting their division rival, the Dallas Cowboys. I think this is a great game to open up the season. I mean, it's two division rivals who have been rivals for a long time, and just to see how the Eagles do against their division rival.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's not the matchup that everyone may have predicted, but I mean, what more could you want? Like two division rivals, as you said. We don't know how the Cowboys are going to look, but we know what the Eagles are capable of. They just won the Super Bowl. They're here to defend their crown, their title, and I think it's going to be a great game, especially to open up the season. Last time the Cowboys were in the season opener, they played the Bucs a few years ago, and that was a great game, so hopefully they can duplicate that here.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Cowboys, with their season additions, they got George Pickens just the other week, but I'm taking Philadelphia for this game. I mean, I think everyone would because they're the defending Super Bowl champs. I think that's a pretty good reason to pick Philadelphia.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. The Super Bowl champ, it's not often that they lose the season opener, and they're at home. Cowboys aren't that great of a team. So yeah, I see this one going to Philly.
I think I would have picked the Rams and Eagles as the season opener, but that game is week 3 on the calendar. That's a 1:00 game. I'm kind of surprised it's not prime time, but it's one of those marquee matchup at 1:00. But it's going back to the divisional round last year in that snowy game in Philadelphia. The Eagles won, and that was a great game too. I think the weather kind of impacted the Rams a little bit in that game, and the ball control was just bad for Los Angeles. But I want to see them in September where it's hot, it's sunny, and I want to see how they actually do in good conditions.
I 100% agree. If a few things went differently, a few things went their way that didn't, they could have easily won that game and gone on to the Super Bowl, but they didn't, and it was, like you said, but it was the majority of it was because of the weather, and I think that this is a great opportunity for LA to kind of show the rest of the league what they're capable of, especially against a team like Philadelphia who just won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I think. But I don't know who I'm going to go with that game. I think it's going to be a very close game. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Rams win. I mean, just to kind of put a pause on the Eagles celebration from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's so early in the season. It's either one of these teams could win, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams now have Devontae Adams. The Eagles got some additions. They had some departures. But I think, still going to be a great game. But even a better game I think we have on the calendar is the Lions and the Commanders, another divisional round rematch from last year, this time in Washington. The Commanders have 10 games on primetime, however, this one isn't one of them. But I think still going to be a heck of a game. I think that Detroit is going to come back angry and furious. And I think, to be honest, I think they're going to stomp on the Commanders. I think that Washington, I think they're going to be a good team this year, but not that game against Detroit.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, obviously Detroit is going to be playing with a bit of a chip on their shoulder because of what was supposed to be a great game in the divisional round, turned out to be a bit of a blowout in favor of Washington. And I can see, Detroit getting one back on them, but I feel like you can't count out Jaden Daniels ever. He's become one of those quarterbacks in the league that you just want to see succeed, and you don't want to bet against them because they're probably going to win. And I think Jaden Daniels could easily lead the Commanders to a win here.
Yeah, but I mean, be prepared for this game to be some crazy score, like a 42-9 blowout or something like that for Detroit. Maybe that's not going to happen, but
I think it'll be a bit closer than it was in the division round.
And then the Commanders play their division rival, the Eagles, in weeks 16 and 18, so to close out the last 2 out of 3 weeks. But the week 16 game is going to be part of the Saturday doubleheader in Washington. I think it's going to be a good game. And then week 18 back in Philadelphia. I could either see maybe both of those games will be Saturday, but I think I could see that Week 18 game being the Sunday night, and I think that the Eagles, I think that game could be for the division, honestly.
Yeah,
If-
usually they make games that they know are going to be really important, like the Sunday night game in Week 18, because obviously the time slots don't get released until that week. So I can see that game definitely being the primetime game Sunday night. And I think that they split last year in the regular season. At least I know the Eagles got them in the playoffs, but they split last year in the regular season. I see that happening again this year, and this is going to be probably one of the most fun division rivalries to watch this season.
Yeah, I think it's going to be the best division rivalry. But we have the AFC divisional rounds rematch between Kansas City and Houston. That's in Week 14. That's in Kansas City. But I think the Chiefs are going to win. I mean, I don't think Kansas City is going to have the year they had last year. I mean, 15-2 in the regular season. I think that they're maybe have 4, maybe 5 losses. But I think Kansas City is still going to win this game. I think this is one of the 12 or whatsoever games they're going to win. I think that Houston, it's going to be cold in Kansas City. It's because it's Week 14. Was that like December time?
Yeah,
kinda?
It's November, I'm pretty sure. But I agree. Kansas City does not lose to Houston very often, and I just think that I could see Houston taking another small step back this season, especially with division rivals like the Titans maybe, or the Jags, or we'll throw the Colts in there too. They're gonna get better, and I think that the Texans are gonna struggle to hold that top spot in the division, while the Chiefs are just gonna absolutely steamroll the AFC West. So I think that Kansas City is just gonna tack on another one.
I mean, I honestly think that Houston, I think they're going to be fighting with Jacksonville for the division. I think this is going to be an all-year thing with them. But for Kansas City, I think Kansas City is going to be here, and then everyone else, like Chargers and Denver, are going to be down here. But I still think Kansas City is going to win the division. They're going to win this game too. But then in Week 1 on Sunday night, we have Baltimore and Buffalo, the AFC divisional round rematch. The other one, from that Mark Andrews drop at the end of the game. I mean, I think that's going to hurt them. That's definitely going to hurt Mark Andrews until the Ravens beat Buffalo. But I want to see how this game plays out.
Yeah, no surprise that the Bills and or the Ravens were going to be on Sunday night Week 1. Turns out it's both of them. And I thought the Bills were going to play the Bengals Sunday night Week 1, but that game's further down the road. But so we got the Ravens Week 1, and I think that it'll go about the same as it did in the divisional round. I think the Bills will eke out a close one. It's in Buffalo. They got the home crowd Week 1. I trust Josh Allen a bit more to get the job done.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, don't sleep on Baltimore. I think they, sometimes they start off hot, but so does Buffalo. So. I mean, at this point, I don't think I can pick a winner for that game. I think it's just too close. But then we got the AFC Championship rematch coming Week 9, Kansas City at Buffalo. It's going to be the final regular season game, or the final regular season Chiefs-Bills game at Highmark before they move into the new stadium. But honestly, I think Buffalo can win. I think they always win in the regular season against Kansas City.
Yeah, I was about to say this. We know the script by now. It's been happening for 4 years straight, running. The Bills win in the divisional round. Bills win in the regular season. Chiefs win the playoffs, and I don't see that changing this season. So yeah, I'm gonna back my boys again and pick them to win this game because they usually do, and they'll figure it out in the playoffs hopefully.
And then we got the Super Bowl rematch coming in Week 2 with the Eagles and the Chiefs. I mean, I was kind of surprised the Super Bowl rematch was this early in the season, Week 2. I think you could have pushed it a little further. I think maybe like Week 6 or 7. But, I mean, this game is going to be exciting. I think that this is the most anticipated game for the season by NFL fans. But, I mean, it's in Kansas City. I think the Chiefs are – I think Kansas City is going to win.
I kind of agree. I agree. I think they'll get their get back in week 2. I think Philadelphia is going to be coming off of. They're going to have more time to prepare, obviously, because they're playing on Thursday the week before. But I just think that Kansas City is going to get one back. Philly's going to come in a little bit overconfident, and KC's going to defend their home turf.
I mean, yeah, time-wise, it's on Philadelphia's side because Kansas City, they got to fly to Brazil to play that Friday night game, and then they got to fly back however many so hours it is, and then play the following Sunday. But, yeah, I think Kansas City is going to win.
It is crazy, though, that all 4 divisional round matchups, both conference championship matchups, and the Super Bowl matchup from last season are all, going to be played again in this season. So
yeah.
I'm sure those games will be great, and I'm ready for the season to start already.
Yeah, me too. Well, that's it for us on the NFL, but up next is me and Smitty talking about the NHL.
Hello and welcome back to the NHL on the Highlight Reel. I'm Smitty and this is Nick Lynch. Last week we told you about our predictions on the second round. Now let's look into how the series are going so far.
So starting in the East with Toronto and Florida. I mean, the first 2 games, the Maple Leafs just had all the momentum. Florida kept both games close, but they just couldn't win. And then the series shifts back to Amerant Bank Arena.
Yes.
And Florida takes the next 2. So it's 2-2 in the series right now.
Yep. Like we said last week, we thought that this was going to be the best series out of round 2, like by far. Like we said, Toronto went up 2-0 with the first 2 games at home with some outstanding gameplay by William Nylander and also Max Pacioretty, who's been stepping it up as an old guy. He has 1 goal, 2 assists. So, and I'm pretty sure Nylander has 3 goals, 1 assist, or 3 goals, 2 assists. So just great performances by them. And then moving on to the Florida side where they moved back down to Florida and they got their 2 wins at home. So right now it's just home team winning.
Yeah.
Great performances by Barkov, Carter Verhaeghe. But Nick, let's talk about that game 3, that overtime goal from the one and only Brad the Rat Marchand.
Yeah, I mean, it was a nice goal. I mean, you can't really ask for any more than that.
No, just a nice shot on it. He just shot the puck on net and luckily it found the back of the net and they got the dub. So game 4, it happened last night or 2 nights ago, and just what a game on Brad Marchand's 37th birthday. So, but he had a great game. Everybody else had a great game, and they won that game to tie the series up 2-2. So, game 5 will be on Wednesday in Toronto, so we'll see how that goes.
I honestly think Florida takes game 5, to be honest. I think the
agree
Panthers
with you.
have a lot of momentum. I think Toronto's kind of exhausted from those 2 games, but I think the Panthers, I think they can outplay Toronto.
I agree.
They've shown it in the past. I think they could take game 5. Game 6, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if this series went to 7, but it also wouldn't surprise me if Florida were able to close out the series.
Yeah. But moving on to the other series in the East, we have the Capitals versus the Carolina Hurricanes, and the Hurricanes take a commanding 3-1 lead.
Yeah, I mean, Carolina shows that they can play with these guys, and I said it before the playoffs even started. I didn't think Washington would be going that far.
No.
I think Carolina can definitely win Game 5 in Washington. I think it's very possible, and I think the Hurricanes are going to be in the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe even farther than that.
Yep, I agree. So Game 1, the Hurricanes took in Washington 2-1 in overtime with a goal from defenseman Jacob Slavin. And then in Game 2, the Caps bounced back and won 3-1 with goals from McMichael, Carlson, and empty netter from Tom Wilson. But then moving back to Carolina, the mayhem gets even better. Carolina just starts rolling, and they win with a whopping 4-0 lead or 4-0 win. And then in last night's game, they extended the lead 3-3 with the win, 5-2 over the Capitals. So just a great game. Gossavir got the scoring going last night, and then Jarvis followed. Same with Hall, Walker, and an empty netter from Andrei Svechnikov. So like we said, I think honestly, the Hurricanes can't be stopped.
Yeah, I mean, I think Washington's just kind of dead. I mean, I think they've lost all hope now.
Yep.
And
Do you think that they will be able to come back?
3-3 at best. But I think Carolina still takes the series.
I say they're going back to Washington. I say the Capitals get one more win, but then Carolina will go back home and shut them out.
Yeah.
But something else interesting about this series, Alexander Ovechkin. He's been an absolute ghost. He finally got his first goal of the series last night, or in Game 3, one of those. But he's just not been who he was in the first or in the regular season. He's been an absolute ghost.
Yeah, I mean, I think Carolina has the right game plan. I mean, the key to beat the Capitals is just stop Alex Ovechkin. If you stop Alex Ovechkin, you win the series and you move on. Like Ovechkin has been the leading scorer for Washington this year, and it's not even close. I mean, if Ovechkin plays well, the rest of the Capitals team doesn't play well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Carolina has done a great job of handling Alex Ovechkin.
Yeah, they just shut him down. They shut down their power play. Like they know what their power play is. It's just get the puck to Ovechkin, get him his one-timer.
Yeah.
But then moving on into the West, we have the Stars versus the Jets, and the Stars have a lead 2-1 after 3 games played. In Game 1, the Jets took an early lead, but the star, Mikko Rantanen.
Literally the star, Mikko Rantanen.
He got a natural hat trick in the Game 1 right after defeating the Avalanche with his hat trick in that game. So back-to-back games for him. So 2 hat tricks in the playoff. That's just crazy. And then just what a playoff he's having, right?
Yeah, I mean, I got to be honest. Like, Mikko Rantanen might get, if Dallas makes it to the finals, and if he keeps up this pace of goals, I think he can win finals MVP.
Definitely. He'll definitely win the Conn Smythe.
Yeah, but I honestly think that Dallas is a good enough team to make it to the Stanley Cup final.
I think so too. I honestly, I don't want to say it, but it might be Florida versus Dallas in the finals. Or Carolina versus Dallas.
Yeah, that's not a bad prediction at all.
But we also can't forget about Edmonton either.
Yeah, Edmonton. But staying with the Stars and Jets series, Game 2, Winnipeg took Game 2, 4-0. What a game from Connor Hellebuck with a shutout. First shutout of the playoffs. But even though he had his first round struggles against St. Louis,
and he was struggling. He struggled again in the first game, but luckily he bounced back this game.
Yeah, he definitely needed that game in the playoffs. But Game 3, they go to Dallas and the Stars get a nice 5-2 win. That's not good for Winnipeg. I mean, because they have to play another game in Dallas tonight. Yep. And honestly, I think the Stars take Game 4. I think
so too, and I think they will go up 3-1.
Yeah, Winnipeg. I don't think they're a good team on the road. I think maybe when they go home, the energy will shift. But
yeah, because that white out there is just it's a nice atmosphere. But Dallas with Rantanen, with Hintz, with Johnson, and also with Robertson back in the lineup, they're such a great team.
Yeah, I agree.
So that Game 4 will be tonight, and we'll talk about that with you next week. But moving on, we have our last series, Vegas versus Edmonton. The Oilers are up 3-1 after last night's commanding 3-0 win. In Game 1 and 2, they were at Vegas, and Edmonton won 4-2 and 5-4 in overtime. So just good performances by them. But then going back to Edmonton, Vegas found their first win in a 4-3 win. So they got back. They made it a series, but last night Edmonton took it away again with a commanding 3-0 win. So, but some of the top performers were of the series are Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Evander Kane, and Adam Henrique, who had 2 goals last night.
Yeah.
So just great performances by them. If Vegas wants to stay in this, they're going to definitely have to win. They're definitely going to have to win their next game. But I think Edmonton's going to maybe do it in 5.
Yeah, I think Edmonton could definitely win Game 5. But honestly, in Games 1 and 2, Edmonton played great. I think, Vegas just needed to step it up, and they didn't. And then Game 3 was better. I mean, for Vegas, I went to leave the room with like 36 seconds left, and it was a tie game. So
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, so we're going to overtime.
Yep.
Then I come back. There's like less than a second left, and Vegas scored.
Yep.
And that was good. I mean, that's just heartbreaking for Edmonton, because if they would have won that game in overtime, they could have ended it last night. But
Yeah, I totally agree.
unfortunately, that's not the case.
Yeah. Also about last night's game, and what about all those scrums and like them Edmonton tackling Aiden Hill basically?
Yeah, I think that distracted Vegas. I think Edmonton got in their heads.
I think so too, and it just didn't go in Vegas's favor, and they couldn't get any power play goals out of it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with Vegas in the next game, but that's going to do it for the NHL on the highlight reel. Thank you for watching. See you next time, but stay tuned for Andrew talking about soccer.
Hello, I'm Andrew Mirzaaghasi, and I'll be talking about soccer once again. This one is going to be a tough one for me because there were a whole lot of losses this entire week. So, Man City have disappointed me again, which is why I'm not even wearing the shirt this time. They tied with Southampton. Literally nothing happened for 90-plus minutes. I literally can't make this up. Southampton is literally in dead last, and we couldn't even do anything. We kept missing free kicks. We kept missing everything. We were on the attack the entire time, and we couldn't do anything at all. I don't know how this team is still up for Champions League preparation at this point. It went all downhill. I'm just going to say it. Alvarez going to Atlético Madrid, Rodri just being out the whole season because of that whole injury, and he somehow got the Ballon d'Or for that. Haaland just being pissed off that he's the only one being goal scorer, so he's not caring anymore. And I have no hope if we're going to win an FA Cup final against Crystal Palace, because, hey, Crystal Palace scored this week, and we didn't score at all, so I don't know how this is going to work. I just have no hope for how this next time's Champions League performance is going to go. I just don't know. Another tough thing, or a controversial thing, I should say. Barcelona have been eliminated from the Champions League. It was an Inter Milan victory, the second leg, 4-3. It was still a good game, I wanted to say. I wanted this team to reach the finals. Barca have not made it to a UCL final since 2015, 10 years ago. This game made me very upset, but there was a whole lot of controversial calls, and I have to say, right when the equalizer happened, people were getting pissed off. There's photo proof, there's videos made about it. The referee just didn't care at all, and if I have to go out of every single play or every single time I see a Barcelona player just fall because of a call that was not right, or Yamal just falling into the penalty box, for example, and not being called a penalty because he was short by this much, by the way, this much, and that was the excuse. The referee literally went like this and said it was not a penalty. Meanwhile, there's just so much footage. There's like many interviews as well. Flick and Pedri kept saying like, oh, this is not going to fly at all. And by the way, this is the same referee that was used in the 2022 World Cup final. Many people have their theories saying that they favored Real Madrid. I'm just going to dismiss those theories because I'm not even going to bother with that. I'm just going to say there's proof out there. It's skeptical. Don't know what's happening. And I can't. I'm like struggling with words here. There's like video proof that a Barcelona player got at least downed like 3 times. Many people are trying to call it out, but the referee is like, nope, we're not going to do it. Then, of course, there's the equalizer. Then it went to overtime. Radafina would have been a hero, honestly, if it just stood there, but no, they didn't call the foul. It went to overtime. Inter Milan scored, and the Barcelona struggled against their defense. It was such a poor game. I'm just gonna say it from here on out. I'm just disappointed, honestly. But if there's one thing positive I could bring about, there was the El Clasico in the La Liga. The only positive news that I have for the soccer segment. This was pretty good. It was a 4-3 Barcelona victory, proving that Real Madrid just really don't know what to do at this point. Mbappe scored a hat trick in this, making it 2 times. If I had a nickel that Mbappe had a hat trick in a game and still lost, I'll have 2 nickels. It's kind of weird that it happened twice, but what a coincidence that is. I don't know what to say. Barcelona have beaten Real Madrid 4 times this season.
My granny called, she said, Travis, you work too hard. I'm worried you forget about me. I'm falling in and out of cuz.
Their chance to win the La Liga has increased, and if Real Madrid lose their next game in the La Liga, Barcelona are automatically called the victors if they win. They're going to win 3 trophies this year. I don't know what to tell you. Real Madrid is just going downhill from here. Another thing, and another controversial thing, can you believe it? The officials, again, have messing around with this game. According to latest news, I think there was an audio recording behind the VAR showing bias. I can't really say for sure because this is brand new to light and there's lack of evidence, but it's kind of controversial. I'm just going to say that if it's true. But honestly, I don't know where to go with that. If so, then that's kind of a problem that we're showing biased, even though they're supposed to be neutral. But what can I say? Controversy can go anywhere. Now we have Inter Miami. They didn't do well either. They literally lost 1-4 against Minnesota United. This was a tough loss, as they are now in 4th place in the MLS season. Since there's no Champions Cup news, I can't really say. This is their only time they get to shine, and it's only the MLS season because they got knocked out. So here's the 2nd to 6th place standings in the Premier League because Liverpool already got declared the winner. So 2nd place, Arsenal with 68 points. Newcastle 66 points. 4th is Man City with 65 points. 5th is Chelsea with 63 points. And 6th is Aston Villa with 63 points. As you could tell, our poor performance against Southampton knocked us down a place. We're losing to Newcastle now. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how the Champions League is going to go if we're going to perform like this, 0-0. Here's a fun fact. I just shut off the game as soon as Kevin De Bruyne just missed both of his free kicks. I couldn't watch this game anymore. I was just too disappointed. Thanks for watching, but don't go anywhere, as Rocco and Matt will be talking about the NBA.
Hello there, and welcome back to the NBA segment on the highlight reel. Today we will recap some of the last games that were played. Let's start off with the Pacers and the Cavs. Pacers taking this one 114-105. Your thoughts?
And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. The Pacers have knocked out your number 1 seeded Cleveland Cavaliers in 5 games. Tyrese Halliburton led them with 31 points, and I tell you, they battled back again, Matt.
He had a great game, I tell you. I mean,
he may be a little inconsistent at times, but he battled back. The Pacers battled back again, went on the road, and they sent the Cleveland Cavaliers packing. Just what a disastrous finish for a great season from your number 1 seed in the East. I couldn't even believe that they got mollywopped. If you ask me, they got it handed to them. And now Indiana moves on to the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, they will either await either New York or Boston.
Moving on, we got the Thunder and the Nuggets. They're tied at 2-2 in the series right now, but Thunder taking the win 92-87. Your thoughts on this one?
A tight one. Your MVP finalist, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. The Gilgeosaurus came back at it again with 25 points. And listen, I love watching the Thunder play. This was gritty. This was more of a grit win than anything, but that's just what makes them so deep. Holmgren, Gilgeous-Alexander, Hartenstein, so many other names, both Jalen Williams. They just know how to win. And against Nikola Jokic, who's really not had the greatest series so far outside of maybe game 1, it's a tough matchup, especially going on the road in Denver and winning. Not an easy task. So hats off to OKC, and I hope they keep it up.
Finally, we got the Wolves and the Warriors. Wolves lead 3-1. 117-110 was the results of the last game. What are your thoughts on this one?
Julius Randle, you have finally arrived in the playoffs, my guy. I love Julius Randle for what he did in New York, but what he's done in Minnesota, it may be just as good, if not better. In the playoffs especially, he has really just come on, and I love seeing this from him. Anthony Edwards, also, the perfect Robin to his Batman, and they are a great, great duo. I love seeing the Wolves. I've always had so much respect for them. I've always liked watching them play, the logo, the jersey, the colors, and this is a good win over a team that is without their leading scorer and their franchise player in Steph Curry. So it's on the Wolves now to really just take care of business because I'm not going to lie to you, Matt, I don't think playoff Jimmy's coming back anytime soon.
Well, that's going to do it for us today, but don't go anywhere because next up is Myles and Luke on their thoughts from the Knicks game.
Welcome back to the highlight reel. Today we're going to be talking about Game 3 and 4 of the Celtics-Knicks series. So in Game 3, Celtics won 115-93. Finally, they did something from beyond the arc. They didn't go 25 of 100 again, shoot a nice 50% from 3. That was a really nice win. Good defense all around. They really came out with urgency, and there's really nothing else to say.
Yeah, Celtics played really well. Knicks went up 2-0 in Boston and came back home, looked a little slower. No one really played well for them. Boston did not miss from 3. You knew they weren't going to keep that up. You can't shoot 50% from 3 every night. And, yeah, they won the game. They played much better. And that takes us on to Game 4.
Yeah. So on to Game 4, which I'm sure you're very happy about. The Knicks obviously took Game 4. Very tough watch from I'd say the third quarter on. Jason Tatum had 42 points, but of course that's not the story about him. Obviously, it's the supposed Achilles injury that he suffered with about 2 minutes left in the fourth. You know, I'm mad about the loss as a Celtics fan, but I'm just way more devastated about the Tatum injury. He really showed us last night what he is. He was playing a great game on both ends, guarding Cat and hitting all those step-back threes, which not the best shot selection, but when they're falling, they look good. So, again, I'm just worried about Tatum.
Yeah, Knicks fought back. They've been doing it all series. Game 1 and Game 2, they came back from down 20. Last night, they were down between 10 and 15 most of the first half. Third quarter, they began to fight back, get their way back in the game. Took the lead at the end of the third and didn't really give it up the entire fourth, just stuck right there. You know, in a close game, the Knicks with Brunson, the clutch player of the year, are going to pull it out most of the time. Going to get that win, whatever it takes for them. And he had a great game, 39 and 12. Tatum obviously played really well before the injury, but for him, like, he got, I don't know, I guess he didn't really play in the clutch, but he got in 1 and 2 he got beat in the clutch by Brunson. In this game he got hurt towards the end. Obviously, hope he's okay, but
well, he never plays well in the clutch.
Yeah.
I mean that's Tatum's whole thing. That's why he's hated on by like everybody. But yeah, going back to the Knicks, they remind me a lot of the Heat in the sense that Jimmy is your Brunson. It doesn't matter what
Brunson's better than Jimmy.
No, not playoff Jimmy. Okay, playoff Brunson's pretty good, but
Yeah.
he's not playoff Jimmy level at both ends. But he reminds me of Jimmy. And then there's always one role player that elevates their game beyond what they normally do, which is your Caleb Martin. Last night, it was obviously Mikal Bridges making all those tough contested middies. And Caleb Martin, for some reason, always averages like 25 and 7 in the playoffs.
Caleb Martin is good in the playoffs. Mikal Bridges is a star that we just traded 5 first-round picks for.
Yeah, screw them picks. It was really just...
It was worth the picks. He played great last night. OG played really well. When he had a terrible Game 3. Hart was okay. Cat was good. Mitchell Robinson, really good, really effective. And the entire Knicks team played really well.
Mm-hmm. With Cat, it's always a problem with him with the fouls. But last night, I feel like Robinson did such a good job of picking him up that when Cat got 2 early fouls, it was like, okay, we can still go to Robinson and not have to worry about, the lack of offense that he provides. I don't understand why. I don't understand.
It's not the lack of offense, though. It's because offensively, he offensive rebounds as well as anyone in the NBA. So he gets you second opportunities. Yes, he doesn't score, but he helps out the offense in a lot of different ways.
I don't understand.
I don't know why you guys weren't fouling him.
I don't know why we weren't going to hack a Robinson.
He dominated in the beginning of the series. To start fouling him every time it worked, and then they just stopped doing it, and he dominated again.
Yeah, I truly don't understand the one game plan. I like Joe a lot. He's a great coach. I think he is fantastic, but you got to do better on that. But looking ahead to the future of the Knicks, I mean, the East is wide open. The NBA is wide open, quite honestly.
Yeah, let's go.
I mean, with Indiana, you guys match up well against them, obviously. I feel like you guys are going to have a tough time to adjust to their pace, as in they're just going to be running up and down the court. You guys might not have time to really set your defense like you did against us in this series. But
the series isn't over yet. There's still game 5.
Over.
And then
it's over.
6 and maybe 7. Hopefully we don't have to go that far, but never know.
With Tatum not playing, it's over.
Has Tatum been ruled out yet?
They haven't said anything. Maybe in like an hour they'll give something, but I don't really know. And then looking ahead to the future of the Celtics, Porzingis is gone, Holiday's gone, Al Horford's probably gone, Jaylen Brown's probably gone. It's really not a great situation to be in. But that's all we have this week on the highlight reel. We'll see you next week.